As part of efforts to encourage the teaching and learning of languages in schools, especially Yoruba language, which is the dominant mother tongue of the state, the Lagos State government has collaborated with the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, towards providing educational learning materials to schools. Speaking during the handover ceremony of Yoruba early grade reading materials, Jekakawe, at the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, Maryland, the executive chairman of the board, Honorable Wahab Alawiye King, said the infusion of local languages into the educational system will not only increase the chances of survival, but its introduction as a medium of instruction will help pupils succeed educationally.
We have to promote and preserve all our languages, and that is to enhance our mandate, which is to provide all-inclusive basic education in our state. What we are saying with that thing is that we are using our cultural, our linguistic diversity to promote and enhance learning and teaching outcomes in our schools. And in order for us to enhance learning and teaching outcomes in our classroom, we must go back to the basics.
The reason why we're here, it surpasses reading, it surpasses Subeb, it surpasses Nigeria. Many of our children are abroad. Many families are abroad. And if we're not careful, if we're not intentional, we will lose our mother tongue in order to ensure that Yoruba language lives not just in Nigeria, but all over the world where we have sons and daughters. We need to make systematic changes to ensure that this happens.
Training. Ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ láti lè jẹ́ kí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní lo ìwé yìí. A rí pé tá bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní lò ó, a tún rí ìyípadà.
The Commissioner for Education, Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, stressed the need to motivate the younger ones to learn the mother tongue, adding that it will increase their literacy levels and expand the availability of quality local language teaching and learning materials for pupils within the state.
The fact that you speak Yoruba should not affect your English. If you speak English well, and be any teacher man be or ye kilo bossy boy, Yoruba is phonetic. The Yoruba alphabet is even phonetic. So when it comes to the teaching of literacy, it is a very, very important factor. If you can read Yoruba well, you'll probably be able to string words in English as well. There are studies that show that people who are multilingual or bilingual, it makes them more intelligent because they are using more cells in their brain. So by allowing your children to speak multiple languages, you are doing them a great service.
Presenting the Yoruba early grade reading materials to the state government, the chief of Northern Educational Initiative Plus, Mr. Nuruddin Lawal, disclosed that the motive was born out of the need to achieve positive learning outcomes as the beginning of education is reading, which is critical to national development.
Before the children start school, they have vocabularies already. So many of those vocabularies. And so the best way to start teaching is to teach them what? The language where they accumulated so much vocabularies. That way they ease into reading. And that way they transfer what they've read here, they transfer it into learning other languages.
Much of the education we receive at school is done through reading, especially silent reading. When you're on your own and you read. And it is therefore necessary for children to learn to read, then read to learn all the school subjects and to be able to think critically. The development of Jekakawe is premised on the language provisions in the National Policy on Education, that the mother tongue or the language of the immediate community should be the medium of instruction at the lower primary level of education.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Mrs. Abosede Adilaja, said the state government will utilize its resources to expand the availability of quality local language teaching and learning materials for reading amongst pupils.
Mother tongue is so important. That's the first language of every child. And as much as we start at that primary level, we are sure that we are building foundation. We are sure that it's going to expand because as the children are growing, the message is being spread across. And before you know what is happening, it will go around. So I want to thank God for this initiative, and I want to assure you that in Lagos State, the initiative will run, it will not die.
Let me appreciate Usaid for putting this together. It's a welcome development, it's a laudable program. And from what we all saw this morning, it shows that gradually, if we are not careful, we are losing it. We are losing our language, we are losing our culture, we are losing our tradition. If care is not taken, we may not be able to control it. So it's a welcome development, and we are going to make the best use of it.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká kàwé yìí, ó máa jẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ iléèwé mọ nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe. Ó máa dẹ̀ jẹ́ kí ó máa dẹ̀ gbé iléèwé wa ga púpọ̀. Ó dẹ̀ máa jẹ́ kí a mọ gbogbo nǹkan tí àwọn teacher wa bá ń sọ fún wa ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì, a dẹ̀ máa understand díẹ̀.
The Yoruba language curriculum provided by the Nigerian Educational Research Development Council was used in the development of the materials with the full participation of all representatives of the Federal Ministry of Education and other stakeholders.